to be under the sea. Ain't an octopus has got with you.
And Marco Bordieri is with us from the Sydney Underwater Gazette. Good morning, Marco.
Good morning, Renee. Nice to talk to you after some time.
Yes, and before we get to our topic du jour, under the sea today, is it looking pretty good?
It's looking a little bit average. It's about 5 meter visibility, which is could be worse, could be better. It's a little bit of a preview of the summertime. Summertime temperatures are higher. At the moment, we have like 18, 19 degrees, which is pretty good. It's been like 16, 17 for most of winter. And with higher temperature, also, generally speaking, the visibility a bit lower. But it's a great day to go in the water today and tomorrow, especially today because of the low swell.
All right, well, let's go under the sea with you because today you bring us quite an interesting little, I guess, thought bubble about how marine species travel thousands and thousands of kilometres but then are able to return to the same place from where they started. You're asking, do they have some kind of sixth sense or inbuilt GPS system or something? It is curious, Marco, isn't it, that a white shark can travel some 20,000 kilometres from Australia to, say, South Africa and know how to return. Turtles do this. Lots of animals, in fact, do it. How so?
Absolutely, no, that's totally fascinating. So scientists have been looking for an explanation, and 15 years ago, they already tried to discover how these species found their sense of direction. So what they did, and this is true also for Pacific salmons, spiny lobster, and loggerhead sea turtles, for a number of species. So what they've done, they've placed the sea turtles into a pool, and then they surrounded this pool with wiring, electrical wiring, and they have been misplacing the position of the magnetic north to see whether the behavior of the turtle would change. And what they've noticed that when they move the magnetic north, the feeling of the magnetic north around, the turtle will behave accordingly. So they do have a compass to understand where the north is. But that's clearly not all the story, because if you imagine yourself, you are in the middle of the ocean, you don't know where you are, and you only have a compass telling you where north is. That's not enough if you want to get to Sydney. It's just giving you where the direction of the north, but you don't know where you are.
And Marco, that has been the problem, was the problem for Australian seafarers and explorers for years, for hundreds and hundreds of years. They could always tell where north and south was when they're in the Great Seas, but they could. Yeah. They found it very, very difficult to work out east-west, didn't they? It was one of the navigational, problems for many centuries until they developed very sophisticated navigation tools for shipping.
Yeah, well, they started using the sextant, which is basically telling you where you are on Earth. It's by looking at the height of the sun, and in any specific moment, you could tell where you are on the globe, and then you could start deciding, okay, if I'm here, I need to go there, this is the direction. And that's a problem for species, because they don't know where we are. Well, the question was, do they know where they are? And this was discovered with the second experiment that was run last year by scientists in Florida. So what they did, they took 20 bonnethead sharks, which is kind of a small type of shark, and they are known for traveling back for mating in the same area every year. So they are quite ritual, and they are a good species for this type of experiment. So they took these sharks, they put in the same pool, the same tank, similar to the turtles, but instead of just misplacing the north and see what happens, they recreated what's called a magnetic signature. Now, a magnetic signature, it's characterized by two things: the intensity and the direction of the magnetism in a specific area. So each place on Earth has a different magnetic signature because it's a combination of these two elements. So if you move a fish from one place to another place, the fish will feel, well, that was the assumption, will feel a different magnetic signature that will indicate where they need to go in order to go back to the previous place. So what they've done, instead of moving the fish around and seeing what happens, they've put these bonnethead sharks into this tank, and with this magnetic cage around, They have recreated the magnetic signature of a place 700 kilometers south of where they actually were. And when they did that, they could turn on and off and check whether what the behavior was.
Mm.
When they misplaced them 700 kilometers south using this artificial setting, the fish tended to go north, tended to go back to where they were. When they turned the machine off, the fish felt it was in the right place, so it wasn't going any north anymore. So they basically realized with this experiment, the fish has a feeling of where they are. They're kind of a map, and they have a feeling of where they are relative to where they want to be. So it's like really having a GPS.
That's amazing, isn't it? They have these really sophisticated navigational tools that we as human beings have had to create over centuries, and they have them inbuilt.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know, every year we find out something incredible about these species. And this was just with the sharks. Just imagine repeating the experiment with other species. So every year, really, we know something that we couldn't even dream of.
Yeah. So we know that the sharks have got this ability, this magnetic signature, and they've got also the ability to determine north and south. But you think it's wider spread? You think most marine animals would have this capability?
Well, how do you explain otherwise that a turtle is born in one island and then travels around for thousands of kilometers, and then at some stage when they need to lay the eggs, they go
They
back
come
to the
back.
very same place?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so recurring in many species. There must be a similar mechanism.
There must be, Marco. It's always amazing, isn't it? It blows your mind how clever the natural world really is, and human beings are really just catching up.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time this morning. So today, perhaps not the best day to go scuba diving or snorkeling, but it's not too bad.
No, well, visibility wise, it's not the best day, true, but the conditions are great. We've been having so much big swell for many months that I will definitely take the opportunity to go to, especially today, to go in the water, whether it's snorkeling, swimming, scuba diving. And visibility, as I said, it's 5, 6. It's kind of average, but we got turtles in Capacity Bay. We got still projections around. We got a number of species around because it's kind of a shoulder season. So you got the opportunity to see a lot of stuff if you go in the water today.
Marco Bordieri, thank you very much from the Sydney Underwater Gazette. You have a fantastic weekend.